Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Time to talk sport again. Activities in the world of sport, Charlie, is getting better now because Nigerians are expecting that NPFL will be starting by January 8th. As we speak right now, the IMC, Interim Management Committee, are trying to see how they can offer at least Takeoff grant to all the teams that will be playing in the NPFL. Though it's an abridged league, but you just have to come up for us to meet up with the CAF Interclub competition. Welcome here on the show, 360 Sports on Trust TV. Once again, you just have to look at it quickly. Let's talk about the first story. IMC to offer Takeoff grants to NPFL clubs. NPFL club this season will be fighting for honors, 100 million on ground, and the 20 teams, Group A and B, are ready by January 8th. They will be doing that, but today IMC will be giving them at least 10 million each to start off for this season. I have in the studio Ibrahim Yusuf is here. Let's talk some sport.
Good morning, Adini. Welcome. Thanks for having me.
From the way I look at your face, it seems not you are not really happy with IMC.
No, really, I'm not really happy. I've been worried about the way that the league has been. They've been trying to structure the league this season. I mean, like lots of controversy going up and down concerning things that we shouldn't really be looking at this moment in time. There's this issue of us having an abridged league, and there was no consensus between the IMC, the NFF, the club owners. Some people calling for boycotts. Some people the controversy is just too much. There's so much noise surrounding the start of our league, and I think we really need to get everybody on the same page, or the same book actually, before we can be able to do something worthwhile, and we're not getting there. So I'm not really happy with what's going on. I mean, like any well-meaning Nigerian that actually supports football, to watch Nigerian football and wants Nigerian football to get to where it needs to get, should not be happy with what is going on. Really.
But to some extent, even though issue of abridging was not really welcomed by all the other clubs, but after the draw was made, and they said, okay, we'll be rolling out 100 million for the winner of the league for this season. After the Group A and B actually play, then they will get the Super Six to be done. But right now, the referees, according to IMC, will be getting paid, even though they were owed before, about 3 years payment salary that they are being owed. But now they'll be paying them even before they go for officiating. One, the prize money has increased. Two, by the time we'll see how they can get NPFL on TV. 3, in fact, not getting, it has been, they say, okay, they mentioned 2 media houses that will be doing that and also streaming it. Aside that, they're trying to make sure something different happens. Why? If any club is found wanting, instead of all this, you have been charged 10 million, 3 million, no, straight deduction, 3 points.
All these things, they are good things for the league. They will make the league better and all that. They should have done all that. They should have put that all in place. They should have named it. They should have put that all out before they started talking about having an abridged league and everything like that. What's convincing everybody now to come back to the table and say, okay, fine, we're ready to do this? It's most likely these things that you just mentioned.
The Takeoff grant.
And of course, the 100 million. Say, okay, fine, come guys. Whoever wins this thing is going to get 100 million. Before that, we're going to give you guys 10 million each. Everybody will be interested, and then you say, okay, fine, we're going to have an abridged version of the league, and this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen. You have to, the sequence of events needs to follow each other. It's not when you actually bring something that is going to happen and then you get pushback, then you bring all the good things that you were hiding back in your back pocket. It doesn't work like that. So that is why I'm not happy with what happened. All these controversies would have been avoided if there was proper communication, proper synergy, proper planning. All this would have been avoided.
We just hope that NPFL will get it better. Well, from the way it is right now, January 8th is really very, very close. And we are waiting to see, although some clubs are saying they won't play. But right now, if this particular Takeoff grant actually being activated today is given to them, who knows? And also they will fight for 100 million that could tempt them. Just recently, NFF set up committees that will be seeing to the affairs of the Nigerian Professional Football League. That has to do with the disciplinary committee, the appeal committee, not forget the referees committee, and also the match commissioners. Well, all those put in place, let's see what will be happening concerning our league. IMC also trying their best to see if the league will really get better this particular season. And also, just recently I saw a particular post somewhere that a particular organization is trying to sue IMC for broadcast rights and all that. I'm like, what is all this?
So those are all the things that we talked about. I mean, like we need to properly organize ourselves. I mean, like if somebody else is coming now to sue you, they said they want to televise the NPFL. You have to package it. You have to market it, you have to sell it, you have to give it to people who, and all about, this talks about rights. Who owns the rights? Is it the IMC? Is it the NFF? Is it the league management? Who owns the rights to the TV or of the NPFL? We should all know these things before we start saying that we're going to go and put it on TV. At the end of the day, somebody's going to come out and say, okay, fine, what is the issue with these TV rights? And then you find people going to court, going up and down, filing cases and the rest of it. So we need to sort all these things out before we come out and make proclamations.
Well, just hope that either proclamation or let's just play this league.
Exactly.
Whatever happens,
let's get the league
let's
started.
just see the league. Because if you check right now, sport in Nigeria is a bit, if we want to get sport news now, it's a bit hard. Why? Activities are not on. You can't find NPFL. It's only maybe the Women Football League that is on. Right now, they are on their match day 5. So we need the men's league also run hand in hand with that so that they can have that opportunity to at least have a team or 2 or 3, 4 in the CAF inter-club competition. Exactly. Aside that, you have news flying around. It's always good to project our own. Yes, you see the way the foreign countries really project their own sport. Even if it is calling, even if it is skeleton, they promote it. Exactly. So we need to do that here too.
Yeah, we need to do that, yes. But the thing is, you just said it yourself right now. Getting information is quite difficult because most of the things that we're doing are actually shrouded in secret. If you don't get it from the administration, then how will you be able to project it? It's what you get from them that is what you're going to project. If everything that they're giving you is negative, then how can you be able to put a spin on it? You understand? At the end of the day, you want to lie? It doesn't work like that. They give us what we need to put out there so that we can project it in a good light and present our league, or present our football administration in the right light so that we can be able to promote it, just like you said other countries do. It's not that the bad things don't happen in those leagues. Of course they do happen. But the good things are there as well, and they push it to these people, and they are the ones who promote it. Nobody's going to blow your own trumpet for you, and that is what the IMC, the NFF, the NPFL, everybody, that's what he needs to understand. We need to all be synergized. We need to understand what is going on, why it's going to happen. A lot of people don't even know why we're having an abridged league. A lot of people don't know that because there is a failure to communicate. We're having an abridged league for what reason? A lot of people are crying about that. Explain these things so that we will know. At the end of the day, when we hear your reasons, we will understand where you're coming from. But unfortunately, that's not the situation. That's not the case. We need to project our league in a good light, yes, but they need to communicate better so that we will know what to project.
Well, I think administration needs to be more open right now when it comes to sport in Nigeria. We should not be making everything shrouded in secrecy. We need to open up and let people really know what's happening concerning our sport out there. Talking about the NPFL for 2022-2023 season, well, IMC will be giving the clubs some takeoff grants today. From there, let's go international. Let's talk about FIFA. FIFA recently, they actually, coming from the president, Infantino, are saying, well, they will talk to all the 211 member countries to see how they can name at least one stadium after Pelé. The late Pelé died last week, and right now FIFA has actually started by naming the headquarters soccer field after Pelé. Well, good one there. FIFA names Zurich headquarters soccer field after Edson Arantes do Nascimento, at least to set an example for all the countries. But from the way it is, I actually learned that Cape Verde too has actually joined. They named that particular stadium that we defeated them. The Super Eagles. That's the stadium now. They have also named after Pelé. I'm sure a lot of countries will also follow suit now.
Yeah, it's a good gesture by Gianni Infantino to say that he's going to speak to
the member bodies
exactly for them to name at least one stadium after Pelé. Pelé was an amazing footballer. He projected football in the greatest light. He was the best ambassador the football could have ever asked for, and it's a very huge honor for him. I would have just loved to see. They could have done it while he was still there.
When he was alive, right?
Exactly. They could have done it while he was still there.
So that joy of being named.
Let him feel appreciated. It's not when you die that things will start coming into, like people start naming things after you, doing things in your name and all that. While he was alive, he could have been honored in that way.
I want to put a question. So why is it like that? That when people are alive, people don't tend to hear all the good things you have done. No one will say. It's only immediately the person you actually pass on. Then you begin to hear
that was why I was laughing when you were saying things like this. When you were saying that about
Pelé should have been alive to see how his name has gone.
Exactly, to see the impact
after all the stadium.
To see the impact of what he has done. This man won 3 World Cups. Nobody has ever done that. I mean, like, it is no mean feat. Back then, when players were not even protected.
At all.
Not now that you slap,
if you cough,
a person falls, they'll give you a red.
card.
Exactly, they'll give you a red card. Back when players were not even protected, there was no VAR, there was nothing. These guys played football at the highest level, and they made it. So I would have wanted to see where he was honored. Yes, he's gotten a lot of honors in his life, but this kind of special honors, why don't you give it to him while he's still there? We heard the same thing happen to Diego Maradona. When Maradona was alive, he was much maligned about his substance abuse, about things off the field and whatnot. Immediately he died, everything changed. He became an icon, a sporting icon of football.
People were buying the booty wall.
People were buying his shirt, his balls that he played
Napoli
with.
now remembers to name their stadium after him.
Amadou Maradona. While he was alive, he was there, he was going to Napoli matches. They didn't deem it fit to name the stadium after him. I mean, like, this guy did this thing in the 80s.
So automatically, let me tell you, automatically, even the Oyibos that we follow in administration, they too make mistakes.
Exactly.
Because if we were to be Nigerian, I would say, okay, it's Nigeria or it's Africa. But this, what we're talking about is about FIFA. It's about team clubs like Napoli, Santos. It's
about football federations as well. Exactly. It's about football federations. We need to honor these guys. These guys put on this shirt, go out there on the field. They risk life and limb. How many players have we seen fall in the middle of the stadium and die while serving their countries? We've had that. These people today, they risk their lives.
People still wonder why Samuel Okaraji's name is not being named, at least, let's even say stadium.
A lot of people now, a lot of football, a lot of football watchers, the young ones now, do not know who Samuel Okaraji is.
Yes.
And this is a man who literally died for his country.
Of course.
He literally died serving his country. We've been making calls for all the... Let's honor this man.
But why is it very difficult to, I don't know, but when you look at sport, the way we look at sport in Nigeria, I think it's high time, maybe the media really needs to pump this and push it, because the way administrators or people see sport is far beyond that. They just see it as mere, okay, just go there and get yourself fit, play and have some fun and go home. But really, those sportsmen and women who deem me fit that, okay, I want to compete for either my local government, my state, my school, my country, that sweat, that extra time, our energy that they actually put into that particular competition, any sport, and they are able to achieve that particular feat. We should always remember.
I think that's where players' unions and athletes' unions come in. I mean, like, we have these unions now, don't we? But we don't hear them do these things. They're supposed to be the ones who are supposed to
fighting for it,
push administrations to do these things. We have a lot of players who have actually played for this country, who if you see them now,
I saw recently Peter Fregene, a goalkeeper for Nigeria. In fact, so painful. I saw that he's very ill.
You understand?
And a lot of people are already pushing the story that he should be helped. Although I remember the Honorable Minister set up one about ex-athlete where they will have to go and give the family, if he's alive, they try to take care. And I remember also Famous Odola trying to do help some.
That is what players' union and athletes' union are supposed to do. They're supposed to push these things, push the administration to be able to take care of these players while they are still there, after they go. That is what is supposed to. That's how it's supposed to happen. Let's come back to the Pelé thing. It's a very big honor. It's a great thing. It was a very good gesture. Every stadium, every member nation should actually name one stadium at least after him, because of the contributions that he has done to the game. At least his legacy will live on for generations.
Which one are you picking for Nigeria to be named after Pelé?
We have a myriad of stadiums.
One are you
we have a lot of stadiums to be named after him. I mean, like, we can name anyone.
Oh my! Well, we just mentioned Okaraji now. We are even our own. We have failed
to recognize that. We have people like Rashidi Yekini who did lots of things for Nigeria, and they have not actually been gotten down. So I think we should get it right first with our own before we start talking about
Before we go international, there giving you concerning that story. FIFA named their own football pitch over there in Zurich after Pelé. Well, may so continue to represent perfect peace. Let's talk about our women football NPFL, Nigerian Women Football League match day 5 actually played yesterday. Let's look at the result, and also we look at the table. Well, Group A now we have Bayelsa. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 against Oshu Babes. Delta Queens 2, Nigeria Tels 0. Good one for Delta Queens and Bayelsa Queens there. Atlant Queens and Rivers Angel actually share the spoils in this particular game, and if you transfer that to the way the table is standing in Group A, you have Delta Queens topping with 12 points after playing 4 matches, although they are in Group Match Day 5. Bayelsa Queens are second on the log with 10 points. Rivers Angels 7, Nigeria Tels with 6 points. Royal Queens, Osun Babes are on the same points of 3 each, and you have Heartland Queens with 2 points in that particular order. Now let's look at Group B, how they also played their game. Nasarawa Amazon lost at home against Confluence Queen 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller there. Abia Angels 1-0. They picked Adamawa Queens, while Edo Queens went away, saw and conquered Ibom Angels in Uyo. That's a 2-0 has also ended in favor of Edo Queens. Now, looking at the way the table is standing, you have Edo Queens topping there with 12 points from 5 matches. You have Nasarawa Amazon, despite that loss, they have 7 points. The same point with Abia Angels, but on goal difference, they have 4, while Abia Angels have 1. Adamawa Queens have 6. You have FC Robo Queens with 4, alongside Confluence Queens 4, and you have Ibom Angels with 3. That's how we're standing right now in the Group A and B. Ibrahim, looking at the groups now, A and B, and how they actually played during this match day 5, you just want to see that, yes, the ladies, to some extent, they've made Nigerians to see football in another side
in a different light. Yes,
exactly. Because the men seems to be
they seem not to be getting their acts together, and unfortunately the women are not getting the attention they require.
Yes,
because they're actually there. They don't get the attention that they require, the attention that they deserve to get. I mean, if it was the women, ladies, that were actually embroiled in all this controversy that's happening to the men's game, I don't think we'll be giving it as much attention as we're giving it now. We really will not. The women's league is actually going on. They're playing their own league.
Day 5.
Exactly. They're playing their matches. The goals are being scored, action being taking place everywhere, and nobody is hearing anything about it. Instead, we're hearing the controversy of a league that has not even started yet. That is what is taking. That's what's taking the shine off everything. If the NFF wants to do something worthwhile, they want to be able to promote Nigerian football, we are promoting Nigerian football. We're not promoting Nigerian men's football. We're supposed to promote Nigerian football. The women's game is part of it. If we're looking at the NPFL, we should look at the women's league as well. Package the women's league side by side with the men's league. It is football generally. So you package it as well. If you're saying you want to put the NPFL on TV, put the women's game on TV as well. If you're saying that the men are going to get 100 million, give the women lots of money.
Don't even know how much they are getting now.
Nobody knows anything.
20 million or 10 million.
That is just what we talked about right now. We don't even know what is going on there for us to even be able to project. We do our best with what we have. A lot of people don't even know we have a female league in Nigeria. A lot of people don't know that there is a women's league going on. So we do the best with little we have, the little information that we can be able to get. But really, we are not paying attention to the women's game. And that is what is reflecting right now when you see what's happening to our Falcons, what's happening to the Falconets right now. They are not at the top of their game like they used to be because the attention is not being given to them.
Well, we just have to give attention to women football. We've been giving you the table, also the result of match day 5 as it went down different centers in Nigeria. The ladies are really doing well when it comes to football, but we need to give more attention. Administrator needs to remember that they are also into that professional sport called football, and they really need to be giving attention. Right now, if you check Europe, that's women's football league there, and also the Champions League. Every other league there is getting really so much attention. In fact, if you watch women football, you'll be wondering, are they really women? Because the pace, the technicality, and every other thing has moved up on a very, very high note. Well, Nigerian Women Football League match day 5 update there for you, where we have the Group A and B and also the table. Quickly, let's go with European now. Let's talk about the EPL. Matches were played. Good one for Taiwo Awoniyi. He was on song for Nottingham Forest. They came out from the Forest actually to the city of Southampton. St. Mary was one that actually bore that particular pain from them. Let's look at the result of the EPL as it went down just yesterday. Nottingham Forest, Taiwo Awoniyi He was the one that scored that peep. A good one there at St. Mary's. Leeds United 2, West Ham 2, Aston Villa against Wolverhampton 1. They also shared the score there 1-1. Why Tottenham Hotspur? Well, Crystal Palace. They went to sleep. Your team won. I can see your smile now.
Yeah, well, it was a game of two halves when you look at it. I mean, Crystal Palace dominated the first half of that match. Selhurst Park is a very difficult place to go to, and it showed. Because Tottenham were not able to get a foot in when it came to the first half of that match. Unfortunately, Palace failed to take the chances that they had in the first half, and then when Tottenham decided to come to the party in the second half, it was almost a rout. So that 4-0 scoreline is actually not a reflection of the play, because Palace gave a very good account of themselves.
A good fight.
And they could have been 2-3-0 up by the first half. Unfortunately, they didn't take their chances. They were not clinical enough, and then at the end of the day, they got beat. But I think Patrick Vieira is doing a good job with Crystal Palace. All they need to do is, I think they have a mentality issue. When they play teams at the top half of the table, they always get beat, because up to currently they have not beaten any team in the top half of the season, in the top half of the table. Sorry, and that is a problem for them. I think should be something Patrick Vieira should be worried about.
Now you look at Tottenham Hotspur. They lost their last game before this, so they had to brazen up. But really, Crystal Palace fought hard. In fact, that maybe it should have been 2-2. They should have shared this score.
Yes, I think that would have been maybe a fairer reflection of the play on that day, because really, Crystal Palace played a very good game. When it was disappointing that they came out with nothing.
Awoni scoring at least, even though it was actually pulled out at the 70th minute due to some injury there. But I love the fact that right now, the last match before this and also this one has improved his confidence. He's really getting his time.
Yeah, if you watch early games, his games earlier in the season, you'll actually figure out that there's a little bit of nervousness to his game. His finishing wasn't really that spectacular, but as the season progresses, he seems to be growing in confidence. He seems to be the crowd is on his side now. I mean, like he's turning out to be a fan favorite when in Nottingham Forest, not because of anything, because he has incredible work rate. He works for the team. He puts himself out there. He's all over the pitch, and I think that is what fans want to see. They want to see you giving your best. Even if the goals don't come, at least they know that you are trying as much as possible to get it there. And if the goals come, fantastic. And it was a great one for him that he was able to score the goal there yesterday to give Nottingham Forest the win.
A good one for Taiwo Awoni right now. His confidence is really getting very, very big now. Huge one, because we just have to look at the table of how the teams are standing there. Let's look at it. Yes, it's still a big one, even though someone actually called Chelsea a small club. I still don't understand why.
Well, they're 10th now.
They are 10th. Exactly. That's why they are being referred to as small club.
Exactly.
Anyway, Man United are there. But majorly, let's flip it to the other side. That's EPL table from 11 to 20, where most of the clubs actually play. You look at Leeds United, they are 14th on the log. Nottingham Forest are now out of the relegation zone. They need to work harder now. Bournemouth is there, 16. You have West Ham, Everton. What's happening to them? Well, we're taking that story later on. Everton, West Ham, Wolverhampton, and Southampton and St. Mary's. They lost at home, and right now they are actually standing 28th on the log.
Between 13th and 20th, difference is just 5 points. So anybody can actually fall into that relegation zone within within 2 match days. So nobody is safe from Leicester City downwards. Lots of teams are not really having good seasons. Everton, we just talked about them right now. Wolves, well, Marco Silva is doing something, trying to do something with them. Aston Villa used to be in that position, but now, I mean, they've gotten a new lease of life, and I think they can be able to kick on for the rest of the season. Crystal Palace, we saw them yesterday, we saw what happened. Leicester, I think the World Cup break did not do them well. They were having a poor start to the season. They picked up a little bit, and then the break came, and now it's probably downhill.
Well, a good one for the likes of Nottingham Forest here, trying to see how they can come out of relegation. Let's go Italian. Let's go speak some lads in there. Well, for the first time, Napoli losing this season is not really a good one. Good one for Inter Milan, though. They have an edge over Napoli. 1-0 ended at Incheco there. You have Udinese 1, and Empoli won back, making it 1-1. Monza, Fiorentina also 1-1. Juventus defeated Cremonese 1-0. Roma, good one for Jose Mourinho against Bologna, 1-0. 2-1 in favor of Lecce against Lazio. Hellas Verona, Torino 1-0 draw there. Spezia, Atalanta also 1-0 draw, 2-2 draw. You have Sassuolo and Salernitana, the S clubs, losing against AC Milan and Sampdoria. Quickly, let's look at the way the table is standing in the Italian Serie A. Napoli right now, despite that loss, they still stand top. They have 41 points. Their first loss of the season. Well, 24 goal difference. AC Milan are second. You have Juventus, Inter, Lazio, the big boys arranging themselves. You have Roma, Atalanta, Udinese, Torino, and Fiorentina. Let's go to 11 to 20 now as it stands. Bologna at 11 on the log. You have Lecce, Empoli, Salernitana down to Hellas Verona. Ibrahim.
Yeah, well, it's just like you said, the big boys have actually come to the fore now. At the beginning of the season, it wasn't really, it was not fantastic for the likes of Juventus, Inter. They did not have the best start to the season, but now they're actually coming up, and you can see, just like you said, the big boys are actually there. We have Napoli, we have Milan, Juventus, Inter, Lazio, all there on the table and at the top of the table there. And I think that is what a lot of football watchers wanted to see at the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, they couldn't see it, but now that is playing out. So it's going to be an exciting season in the Serie A. I think it's going to be a tight race. Well, and you can see from the surprise there, the most surprising result there is Lecce Lazio. Lazio are actually fantastic before the FIFA break. Now they came back and got beat by Lecce. Very good, strong fighting Lecce side, and I think that is very important. So Napoli, Milan, Juventus, Inter, Lazio, Roma. I think that top six that's the top six that we will see at the end of the season. It's only the positions that might change.
Well, good one for Napoli. Despite losing that game against Inter Milan, they still top the league there. Victor Osimhen and the entire squad are ready to fight on. Now, let's quickly take the last one that has to do with Spanish Copa del Rey. Matches were played. Linares Deportivo, they were wallowed by Sevilla 5-0, while Mallorca also did well 2-0. They won their own. You have Real Sociedad, Real Oviedo, Atletico Madrid winning that game there. Real Valladolid, they lost against Alaves. Inter City de Alacant, they lost 3-4 against Barcelona. In fact, it was a tough one for Barcelona.
It was a very tough one for Barcelona. I mean, like this third-tier team, they came to the party. They wanted to really ruin everything. Yeah, they really ruined everything for everyone for Barcelona persuasion. I think they did very well for themselves. I think that's why we love the cup competition, because it gives the opportunity for these kind of things to happen.
Well, look at the Inter City. You'll be thinking, are they from MLS? Or?
Exactly. You've never heard of them because they played in the third division. They played in the third division of Spanish football, and they did absolutely well. At least now you're talking about them.
Of course.
Under normal circumstances, you would not even know who they are.
You know who they're talking
about. Exactly. Now we know them.
A good one there on 360 Sport. We've been giving you details and updates concerning all the activities in the world of sport. Ibrahim Yusuf, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me, Adenia.
Good one. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.